For those of you who don't know, Chris Paul was just waived the other day by the Phoenix Suns. And currently, as I'm speaking, I've seen every poll, I done seen every post for the most part, having Chris Paul joining the Los Angeles Lakers, finally teaming up with LeBron James. And it'll be years removed from when the trade got vetoed, which, in my opinion, was rigged for sports theater purposes because, as I said, David Stern and the entire NBA, they know they would have made tons of money had, that trade went through. You got Chris Paul, who was at that time one of the best point guards in the NBA, top 5 point guards. Kobe Bryant, coming off a championship run, one of the premier stars of the league, global icon at that point, had already won 5 championships. So he's already a Lakers star. Dwight Howard, Superman, Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic defeated LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the '09 Eastern Conference Finals. So he had just advanced to the NBA Finals 2 years ago before that point. So here you have a guy who won Defensive Player of the Year, I believe, who's, been a rebound champion, got all these accomplishments and accolades. So you put all these premier players on the same team, you know how much money that would have generated? In hindsight, now that I think about it, I just don't think that David Stern would have said, hey, listen, I'm about to veto this trade. To me, it just didn't make sense, in my honest opinion. Like, they would have robbed the bank had Chris Paul went to the Los Angeles Lakers. But that's another conversation for another day. But for the most part, Chris Paul is currently leading the polls, with everybody has him joining the Los Angeles Lakers. And many people believe that Chris Paul is going to join the Lakers, and they think that, he's a great fit, which I think Chris Paul could fit anywhere. He's just a phenomenal, great point guard. Kobe Bryant literally said that the player who reminds him most of himself, Chris Paul, is probably neck and neck in terms of being one of the most competitive players. The Los Angeles Lakers going after Chris Paul and signing Chris Paul would be more of a move for Bronny James than it would be for LeBron James. LeBron James is at the end. Bronny James' game is going to be very unpolished. He's not going to be NBA ready. He's coming into a league where physically and, his physique, Bronny James is going to be expected to come in and score at least, 16 or 20 points at best, at the most. I say somewhere upwards around like 14, 15 points per game. So I think that Chris Paul is going to make his job a whole lot easier. There's not going to be a ton of pressure because you'll have high-profile names like Chris Paul on the team, LeBron James on the team, Anthony Davis. It takes a lot of the attention away and a lot of pressure off of Bronny James, to where Bronny James doesn't have to go out here and score 30 and 40 points and all these expectations, and people calling him a bust and people saying that, he's overrated and he's not going to live up to the hype. He's not going to be like his dad. So you might have nights where Bronny James might score 22 and 23 points, and you got Chris Paul getting him involved, and Chris Paul making these flashy passes. They call Chris Paul the point guard, and he has all these flashy assists. You're going to see him doing these flashy lobs to Bronny James, flashy lobs to LeBron James, and it's just going to be pure entertainment in crypto arena. The Lakers don't have a bad roster, in my honest opinion. Like, they don't have a bad team. The team as currently constructed, they need somebody who can make shots, who's a great 3-and-D player. That's what they really need, a great 3-and-D player. And I think that, CP3, he can start, but it should be a minute restriction. Like I said, he's going to make Bronny James' job a whole lot easier. The Lakers are going to find a way to get Bronny James because it's going to be an increase in ticket sales. It's Hollywood. People going to come out and, Bronny James, the media is going to hype it up a whole lot. So they're going, generate a lot of revenue, a ton of revenue, hundreds of millions of dollars off of Bronny James and LeBron James. Although Chris Paul is older, he still has tremendous leadership skills. He still knows how to get the best and the most out of his teammates. He's a great facilitator. He's great at getting others involved, initiating the offense, extremely competitive, getting everybody to buy in offensively and defensively. He still has that dog in him. He's still a pit bull. I think that if you are soft, you're not going to be able to play with somebody like Chris Paul. Do you know who Bronny James' godfather is? It's not Maverick Carter. It's not Rich Paul. It's Chris Paul. That's who his godfather is. So to be able to play with your real father and your godfather at the same time, it's like a dream come true. Bronny James is a real nigga, bro. It's what everybody know. Like, he don't be crying and flopping like his dad. The man wore Jordans to the day history was being made when LeBron James broke the all-time scoring record. He went on live television and told everybody that Michael Jordan was better than his dad. On camera smoking weed. Bronny James a real one, bro. That's why he gets so much love. That's why Bronny James is respected more than his pops. See, the Bronsexuals love LeBron James. Bronny James is respected by the entire basketball community. Bronny James is more of a three-point shooter. Throughout LeBron James' career, many teams has always surrounded LeBron James with shooters. I think that the Lakers front office are of the thinking that, hey, the RBA, the Rig Basketball Association, has already carried them all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So they're probably of the thinking that, hey, we add a few pieces, we can return right back to where we were next season. And with the addition of Bronny James onto the roster, he's already a really great shooter. They bring in someone who could be a catch and shoot type of guy. All he has to do is come in and just focus on just firing shots. Throw hand grenades. Chris Paul, catch him coming off of screens. Pretty much his primary focus would be moving without the ball. Get a dunk every now and then, coming off screens and catching and shooting.